CEO and also the chair-elect for the Huntington Beach Chamber of Commerce. So welcome to this afternoon's meeting. We're going to do something a little bit different than our normal because I want us to try to keep to our time scale for our guest speaker. If we've got everybody here, if we could just do a real quick 20-second introduction to our speaker. Our speaker is Rhonda Sher. I'll get that right, I promise, from LinkedIn. But if we could just do a quick introduction from everybody, and then we'll go through some of the other couple things we go through at the very beginning, then we'll have Rhonda speak. So Amy, if you want to call based on your list, who's up on your screen and let them do an introduction, that'd be great. And other than that, I'm going to ask for everybody to make sure that they have their mics muted during the presentation. So Amy?
Okay, so first I'm going to start with Doria Miracle.
Oh, good morning, or good afternoon, I'm sorry. My name is Doria Miracle, and I am the president and headmistress of the Huntington Harbor Junior Etiquette Program. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, and we do have a business book chat tomorrow at noon. So please feel free to email me for that link. Thank you, and I am looking forward to your presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Next we have Linda Verks.
Linda,
Linda, you're on mute.
You're unmuted, but we can't hear you, Linda.
I'm off mute.
There you go.
we can hear you now.
All right, that's how to get closer. Linda Verse, and I represent a nonprofit also, Therapeutic Writing Center of Huntington Beach. And we provide lessons for special needs children and adults over at the Equestrian Center on Golden West. And I'm very happy to join you this morning, afternoon.
Thank you, Linda. Next, I'm going to go to Howard Barnes.
Yeah, I'm the Very Fast Home Seller. I sell homes in less than 14 days, and I have an online home selling platform that I put the homes on so the seller doesn't have to pay any commission.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you, Howard. Next, we have Catherine Levisser.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Catherine Levisor. I'm the leader of the Huntington Beach Short-Term Rental Alliance that advocates for tax and regulated Airbnbs in Huntington Beach. I'm also a chamber ambassador, and I'm also an Airbnb ambassador, and I put my information in the chat box. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Next, we have Kelly Ramsey.
Hi, good morning. I am the newest member of the Huntington Beach Chamber of Commerce. I think I joined this morning. I am here on behalf of the Academic Booster Club of Edison High School, where my son is a student. And I'm just looking forward to bringing our community at our school, our students, and our city. So, and I'm also really anxious to hear more about how I can promote LinkedIn. So thank you for this.
Great, thank you, Kelly. Next, we have Fabian Orozco. Fabian, you're on mute. There you go.
Oh, sorry. Fabian Orozco. I'm with Boomer Construction Services, and we provide services to cities, K through 12 and higher education in construction and capacity. So we're new to the Chamber of Commerce here.
Great. Thank you for joining us. Next, we have Sandy Ballard.
Hey everyone, I'm Sandy Ballard. As a DISC certified business coach, I help people set goals and work with their teams to communicate more effectively and efficiently and make more money.
Great, thank you, Sandy. Next, we have Maureen Ahrens.
I'm Maureen, I'm with the USO. We serve our active duty guards, reserves, and military family members in Orange County and throughout the Southern California region.
Thank you. Next, we have Jake Ness.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jake Ness. I'm with Serve Pro of Huntington Beach South. We're actually new members also, so we're excited to be here. We do fire damage and water damage restoration, mold. Our crews are actually in Texas right now, helping with the relief efforts. So we still have 2 crews here in Huntington Beach, but we sent 2 crews out there, and it's crazy. We got 8,000 leads from Texas, but we're doing all we can to help them get back in their homes safe and dry.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Let's see, who am I missing?
Jennifer Todd.
Jennifer Todd, thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Jennifer Todd from the Huntington Beach Family YMCA, And we are also nonprofit. Sorry about my videos not working right now. Oh, here we go. And we are located on Magnolia and Adams. I've been a past Chamber of Commerce member, and we are hoping to renew again this year. And so we are looking to build partnerships within the community, and we are having our operations outside right now.
Great. Thank you,
We have
Jennifer.
Dr. Ganga still? Or Ganga?
Sorry, what?
Dr. Krista Ganga, I think needs
Yes,
to do.
and then and Corby.
Okay, and yeah, so I'll do Corby next. Corby Erling.
Good afternoon, everybody from the great Pacific Northwest. Former member of the Chamber as well as resident in Huntington Beach. Just checking in to see how you guys are doing. And it's really good to see so many familiar faces. Linda, Tina, Catherine. It's good to be here.
Great, thank you. Tina, the other two are not showing on my screen.
Dr. Krista Ganga.
Dr. Krista Ganga, please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, I'm from Coastline ROP. So we provide current technical education programs to Huntington Beach High School.
Great. And I think that's everybody.
Yep.
So I thank you very much, everybody, for introducing yourself. I just thought that might give you a little bit of a background of who you're going to be talking with. Rhonda, to just give you some insight. So with that, we're not going to go through our normal introductions. If I could just, for those that are here, anybody that's on the board, if you could raise your hand and wave so we know who's out there. It's just right now, I think it's only me and Catherine and our ambassadors as well, if you can also do that. Great. So thank you, Linda. Thank you, Catherine. So with that, I'm going to introduce our guest speaker. Our guest speaker is Rhonda Sher. She is with LinkedIn. She's a LinkedIn strategist. She teaches speakers and business owners, entrepreneurs, and other professionals how to be credible and visible using both online and offline by optimizing your LinkedIn company page and your employees' profiles. So with that, Rhonda, I'm going to let you go ahead and speak, and I am going to be muted. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you for that lovely introduction. And I will just clarify one thing, and that is I don't work for LinkedIn. I actually am an independent contractor. So I'm going to share my screen and hope that the technology gods are working with us today. And there we go. And let me just do it this way, slideshow from beginning. Okay, there we go. Can everybody see my screen pretty clearly? It's all good? Yeah. Thumbs up. Okay. So if it's okay with all of you, let's just save the questions until the end, and I'll go through it, and you can ask me whatever you would like at the end. And let's just hope I can get this to work. There we go. So first, what I really would love to do is just tell you what you're going to learn today. I'm going to tell you why you need to be on LinkedIn. If you don't know, LinkedIn was actually purchased by Microsoft in 2015 for about $26 billion. So it's a giant that is the largest business networking platform in the world. I'm going to also talk about your profile and what it should contain and why it's so important, because I promise you that not only are you checking people out on LinkedIn, but they are checking you out. So I'm going to talk about what you need to have on that profile. And then the most fun part of this is, how do you grow your network? Because when you grow your network, you actually get to have appointments with people that turn into cash. So who is it for? Absolutely everybody that's in this audience, whether you're in a nonprofit or you are a business coach or you happen to be in a service business or you're in real estate, whatever it happens to be, this is for you. You're in the right place. So let's jump in. I'll just give you a little bit of background about me. Now, part of why I share the background about me is because you also want to be sharing your own background on LinkedIn. It's part of your credibility. I call it being visible, credible, and profitable. So I've been doing this probably since, oh my gosh, 2007. I mean, I've literally consulted and advised thousands of people on LinkedIn. So, you know, it's really important on your profile that people know who you are and why they should be working with you. The other thing is I've written 6 books. Actually, it doesn't say 6, it's a little outdated, it is 6 now. But this is the international bestseller, Converting Connections to Cash and Relationships to Revenue. Again, you know, when people come to LinkedIn, they're checking you out. And then The third thing is, recommendations, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I have probably close to 120 recommendations. If you've got 5 current ones, you're doing really well. And, before this started, John was mentioning that, what somebody says about you is really important. And what's nice about your recommendations is you can literally click on the profile of the person that wrote you that recommendation and see that they're a real person and see what they do. So recommendations are a huge part of LinkedIn because it's that third-party validation. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of the backstory on me. And the reason that I share this is because it's how I created the system of what I call present, prospect, profit using LinkedIn. So yes, that is me. When I got married, when I was very young, I was married for 28 years. And when we first got married, my husband, Bob, said to me, I have only one request. I said, sure, what's that? He said, please don't make more money than me. Like, okay. So we were married for 28 years and we have 2 amazing daughters. On the left, you'll see Vanessa, who actually lives in Huntington Beach. And she's 29, and on the right, you'll see Stephanie. She's 31. She's a recruiter in Denver. Well, after 28 years, my life fell apart. I got divorced. My mom passed away. I had a cancer scare. We short sailed our house. My kids were empty nesting. And I literally thought to myself, what am I going to do? I'm going to be one of those supermarket greeters. I had to figure out a way to make money. And then I remembered I had a superpower, and all of you have superpowers. And mine was that I knew how to connect people. I knew how to use LinkedIn. And because nobody was hiring speakers and trainers in those days, I went out, got my life insurance license, and within 6 weeks was making $6,000. Within a year was doing 6 figures. Figured out I really did love selling life insurance, but I had a system that easily was duplicatable that I could teach to anybody, because I went using LinkedIn to the mortgage people and basically said, hey, are you working with anybody on your life insurance? And through that, I was able to create the system that I'm going to share with you today. But here's the best part of the story. I remarried my ex-husband 5 years ago. And I lovingly like to say he's my husband, my husband, didn't have to change my name and the kids are ours. But here's the real best part of the story. When we got married the second time, he said, I have only one request. I said, what's that? He said, please make more money than me. Well, using this system, I was able to allow my husband to retire from his corporate job in November of 2020. And now he's a consultant living the life. We were able to move from Marietta to Carlsbad. And all of that is because of LinkedIn. So that's what I'm going to unlock for you today. So here's a few statistics. I'm not going to read this to you, but I want to really stress a couple of things. Number one, every second, there are 3 new people joining LinkedIn. Also, 90% of the people that are on LinkedIn are also on Facebook. It is the largest business networking platform in the world. So if you don't know that almost everybody there who is either your ideal client or your referral partner, and think about this, a lot of people say, well, my clients aren't on there. Yeah, they are. That your ideal referral partner is the person that can be introducing you to your clients. And 94% of marketers actually use social media to push their content out, and they're using LinkedIn. So point being, LinkedIn is really a giant that you can't afford to ignore. So why do you need enough? Most people say, well, LinkedIn's for recruiting, or LinkedIn is for people that are looking for jobs. Not true. LinkedIn is the place where people are going to go check you out. And now more than ever, because we're doing things virtually, here's the Huntington Beach Chamber, and we're all on a virtual Zoom, right? This is amazing, the kind of camaraderie that people can develop. And yet, what we don't realize is that when somebody goes, and I'm going to talk about this in a minute, Googles you and checks you out, guess what? They're going to look at your profile. So if your profile doesn't show you like the expert you are, then you've lost a great deal of credibility. So I like to say that LinkedIn is like the Google search for professionals. Okay, and I asked for permission. So think about Google. When you search for somebody, you go to Google and you put your name in, right? So Tina was gracious enough to allow me to actually, put her here. So I Googled Tina's name. And of the 29,000 results, Tina, what came up first? Your LinkedIn profile over and above, the chamber and everything else, right? So it's really important. If you haven't Googled yourself, I recommend that you do Google yourself. I think there's somebody that's trying to get in if you're looking at the waiting room, just so you know. And a quick story, when my kids were little, they decided, hey, let's Google all the moms. So they went and they Googled me, my kids, and their friends came back and they went, there's like 10 pages on your mom. Is she famous or something? Because every time I had given a talk, every time I had, written something, it showed up on Google. And they said, oh, no, she doesn't even have a job. She just talks. So, the truth is, if you haven't Googled yourself lately, do it, because you want to know whether your LinkedIn profile is showing up like Tina's is. And thank you, Tina, for being so brave. So let's talk about the first part of your headshot, okay? LinkedIn profiles need to have a professional headshot. You're 14 times more likely to get profile views and 36 times more likely to have people send you a message. If you want more business on LinkedIn, then you have to be dressed for the party. And what you'll notice about all 4 of these photos are, number one, they're headshots. It's not a picture of the full body. It's not them on a golf course. They're all looking at the camera, looking right at you, and they're smiling with a very clean background, okay? So if you don't know if your headshot is working for you, you might want to write this down. It's a very cool website called Photo Feeler, Photo feeler.com, and they'll actually tell you, what people think about your photo. So just a cool site to know about. So don't gamble with your LinkedIn headshot, because it's really, really important, okay? So how do you position yourself as the go-to expert? Well, you need a professional profile. So let's actually break that down. So here's Lawrence Goldman. He's one of my clients. And let's just look at, again, he's a divorce attorney. So first thing you see is his name, his office phone number, family law attorney, a graphic that basically looks like a good description of what happens in divorce, and then the services that he offers on the right. That's called a banner, okay? Very, very important for your branding. So if you don't have a banner, then you probably have the blank blue banner, which I'll show you in a minute. Then we can look at Larry's picture, okay? He has a clear background. It's got a little bit of green in the back, but it's still, he's in a suit. He looks like a lawyer. And then let's look at what it says. Divorce mediation, separation, child custody. These are all the key words when somebody is searching. So if somebody was searching for a family law attorney and they were looking for somebody in California or Calabasas, guess what? He's going to show up first or pretty high. So it's really important that you have that banner, that headshot, and that professional part of it. So my question for all of you is, does your profile tell visitors why they should work with you? Does it have that banner? Does it have that headline? Does it have that professional headshot? The keywords are critical. Just like I showed you with Larry, you need to be able to have those keywords so people will find you. So Tina, for example, you might say membership in Orange County's, most prestigious chamber. Connect with like-minded, get referrals, and become an ambassador. There are a lot of the things that people are looking for, because they can choose any chamber, but you want to tell them why to choose yours.
Oh,
so those are the keywords that you want to put in there, right? So here's mine. And again, you see the gold button. That tells you that I'm using the paid version. So if you ever see a little gold button on a profile, what does that mean? It means that person's pretty serious, and chances are they're using the paid version. There's 2 paid versions. I'm not going to go into that. But what you'll see on mine is it says right on the top, LinkedIn expert helping individuals and companies. And what's the result? that I provide. Maximize your profile to generate new business. That's the result that people come and hire me for. They want new business or they want to be credible. Okay. Now I use a Google phone number over there because I don't want to put my personal cell phone number. So I use a Google number because I want people to be able to feel like I'm accessible. I'm probably never going to pick it up, but I will listen to it and call you back, because the person that makes the call wins, not the person that answers the call. Okay. So this is just an example. Charlie Chena is actually one of my clients, and before COVID hit, he was putting on an event in Las Vegas. And what Charlie knew was that people were going to check him out on LinkedIn. And he was charging about $497 to come to his 3-day event. And he also knew that he wasn't really showing up on LinkedIn in a way that was consistent with who he was. So when Charlie hired me, what he said was, your techniques and LinkedIn strategies have increased my views by 33% in just 5 days. I'm talking to qualified prospects. You don't have to have this in the recommendation section. You can have this as a static profile like this, or an audio or a video, and put it on your profile. Why? Because what somebody else says about you is 1,000 times more powerful than what you say. So it's really important that you answer the questions that are in the mind of your prospects and referral partners on your LinkedIn profile. So I jokingly like to say, that the people that don't have the right banner or have any banner, that really are not presenting themselves like the experts they are in the witness protection program. And again, Tina, thank you for allowing me to show you what it looks like to be in the witness protection program. So you guys all know Tina. Tina, you're awesome, right? And no banner, it's blank. And you work for a fabulous chamber. You should have a picture of the chamber in your banner so that people know, so that it brands you. And then either you didn't do a photo, or you have your settings in a way that unless I'm directly connected to you, I can't see it. So it's really, really important to have that photo. And then underneath it says membership/advertising sales at Huntington Beach Chamber of Commerce, which is great if I'm looking for that. And what you have are 220 characters. So you could be adding our members get, or whatever it is, but you want to put the keywords there that are going to attract people. Because you not only have members at Huntington Beach, you have people that are in surrounding areas, right? Isn't that true? Don, is that true? Thumbs up? Yeah.
Thumbs up, yep.
Yeah, so you want to be, telling people, because they have a choice of all the different chambers, right? But why do we want membership and advertising in yours? Because it reaches people. So your banner, your picture, your headline, all of that is so important, okay? Perception is absolutely everything. And I love this slide. Okay, this is actually a slide of somebody that's looking through a lens with cataracts. And that was actually me 2 years ago. I will never forget driving on the 91 with a friend. And she said to me, Rhonda, pull over. I said, what are you talking about? She said, you are a danger on the road. You can't see the lights. Let me drive. I went, what are you talking about? She goes, you have cataracts. I've had the surgery. And I went, okay, I wasn't going to fight with her. I pulled over, and here's what happened. I did have the cataract surgery and everything was like in HD. Well, think of your LinkedIn profile. You probably think it looks okay, but the reality is that the other people that are looking at it are not seeing it the way you're seeing it. I thought it was absolutely normal to see the world this way. And it wasn't until I had the cataracts removed that I realized I was looking at the world in black and white, not in color. So understand that what you want to consider is, think about this, okay? For example, there was somebody that did the elevator pitch, and I believe the lady said she's a business coach, okay? And business coaches typically get a lot of business by referral. So if somebody were to refer you and you sent them over to the profile, question that I would ask is, based on what you're seeing on my LinkedIn profile, would you hire me or at least make a phone call because you have enough confidence to know that I can actually help you with whatever it is that you're looking for. So it doesn't really matter whether you're the business coach, you're the real estate agent that can get your home sold in 14 days. Does your profile reflect that? Because perception really is everything. And you need to know who's going to visit your profile and what words are they going to search for. It's very, very important that you know who you serve and who's going to be looking. And again, for people that are looking for jobs, that's critical, but also remember, there are people out there that are looking for you to guest on their podcast. There are people that are looking for speakers. There are people that are looking for somebody to help them with coaching. There are all kinds of different, oftentimes I might be looking for somebody for my clients. It's not for me. And I use LinkedIn all the time. So when you're upgrading and optimizing your profile, you need to know who's going to be looking at it. You can't underestimate how important this is, okay? So here's a great example. Nicole is one of my clients, and before the pandemic hit, Nicole is an event planner, and she actually has a very strong background in medical sales, pharmaceutical sales. And she was told from somebody about an opportunity for this 4-day conference, which was worth about $30,000. And they said to her, the only thing they're going to consider is your LinkedIn profile and the interview. Now, how many times has somebody said, somebody's looking for an attorney or whatever it happens to be, right? And you're not thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to get checked out. Well, she had an advantage. So I upgraded her profile to reflect all the experience that she had. And she ended up getting that $30,000 engagement after I upgraded her profile. So again, there might have been people that were even more qualified than her that were being considered, but guess what? They didn't show up that way on LinkedIn. I'll never forget when I trained Keller Williams. I was doing a training in, I believe it was Newport Beach. And I asked the question, I said, has anybody here ever lost a listing appointment because of LinkedIn? And this one woman raises her hand and she says, I've been doing this for 40 years. And I went on a listing appointment. I knew there was another agent being considered. I also knew the other agent, so I knew I had a lot more experience than her. And I did not get the listing. And I was so surprised and shocked that I called the woman and I said, I'm just curious. Why didn't you select me? And the woman said, oh, my son looked at your LinkedIn profile and said I couldn't hire you. So you just don't know. And this is what I hear from people. Tina, sound familiar? I try to update my profile every 5 years or so, right? And I say that with love. I'm not saying it in a way that's derogatory because the truth is that we forget about it. We don't realize that LinkedIn is that sleeping giant out there. But as our businesses and our worlds pivot, our LinkedIn profiles should as well. And again, Microsoft owns LinkedIn. They bought it for $26 billion in 2015. So almost every contact management CRM system is one click away. Okay. Is your profile an accurate reflection of what you do? If it's not, then do one of two things. Fix it up or take it down because you're leaving a lot of money on the table. So let's use a real example. I like to talk about experts that show up like amateurs. So here's Chris, one of my clients, okay? Look at the background, plain blue, doesn't brand him. Look at his face. It looks like he's kind of stretched out, right? And Chris is a good looking guy. And then it just says president and CEO of Big Fog. Now you would never know by looking at this profile that this gentleman has probably put in every misting system at every NFL stadium across the country. So if you were referred to him because you had a restaurant and you were putting in a misting system, and now he's doing, a lot of the marijuana companies, they put in misting system, you'd never find him. Look at the after. He's got an MBA. He has all of his keywords there. He's got the gold button that tells you he's using the paid version. His banner is a mirror of what his website was. I don't know what it looks like now, but at the time that I did his profile, and look at his face. It's actually smiling and he's not stretched out. So again, where would you have confidence? The example I like to use is you're going to a black tie event and you're wearing your running clothes. So are you dressed for the party? So my question for you is, does your profile inspire confidence? Because people are 2 times more confident in the information they find on LinkedIn than anywhere else. They can go to Facebook, they can go to your website, they can go to Instagram, but where they're going to make a decision is LinkedIn. Think about it. We all buy stuff on Amazon. We all buy, choose our movies. I don't choose a movie unless I read how many stars there are. I don't use somebody unless I see the Yelp reviews or the Google reviews. I look and check people out. And the one place, the one place I always go is LinkedIn. Why? Because, the studies say people are 2 times more confident. So if I know that's where they're going, because that's where I'm going, I want to make sure we're showing up correctly. So this is the fun part. So let me talk about this for a second. Now I've told you about what your profile should contain. It needs to be very thorough. You want to fill out every section, the about section. You want to put in those testimonials, right? And in the short time we have together, I can't go through all of it, but I want to talk about the gold mine, okay? Because everybody here is looking for new business, right? You're looking for credibility. So you can easily spend 5 minutes a day on LinkedIn, okay? And all you need to do is post, like, comment, and share. And what can you post? So here's the thing that most people don't know, okay? 70 to 80% of what you post should just be motivational and inspirational. It's not about your business because people don't really care until they know how much you care. And there's so much bad news out there that you want to motivate people, right? And there's a way, and I'm going to briefly explain it, on how you can use LinkedIn to really create engagement and a following where it's going to turn into appointments for you. So this was a post that I didn't even create, okay? It was somebody else's post that I shared. And you can see right here, see the little button share? So I clicked that button and it's an 11-second video. And I was just trying to find something on New Year's because I recommend that you post 3 to 5 days a week. And it was these women that were throwing up rice that said, bye-bye 2020. That's all it was. It was cute, okay? I shared it. 765 likes, 44 comments, and over 62,000 views, okay? Now, what do I really care about? The views are great, but they're like a billboard. How many times have you driven down the freeway and you see a billboard and you never do anything with it, right? It's somebody that's telling you about a new urgent care center that's there or whatever. The last billboard that I actually did anything with when I drove by was probably in January of 2020. And I saw a billboard that said Cher was coming to Vegas. And I came home and I said to my husband, we need to go for our anniversary. And he said, how do you know? I said, there was a billboard. And so the next thing you know, I saw that was the last thing I did before the pandemic hit, right? Because I acted on the billboard. So it's a billboard, but how do you take those likes and turn those into appointments? How many of you would like to know that? Just kind of raise your hand, touch your nose, whatever. Okay, so you see over here, it's kind of small, but there's like the little buttons over here, right? It says, and these are the likes. Well, if you click on that, guess what comes up? All of the people that bothered to stop by that billboard, to stop by your post and like it. And then you can reach out to them and say, so Tina, for example, if you happen to like one of my posts, right? Or John, and we're connected, right? I might say or even if we're not connected, I'm going to send you a connection message that says, Tina, notice that you liked my post saying bye-bye to 2020. Thanks so much. I noticed we also share some common connections. Love to connect with you. So just by virtue of the fact that you stopped. However, most of the people that like your stuff are already your connections, right? So what I do is I'll send a message, and let's assume for a moment, John, you and I are connected on LinkedIn, right? And we've been connected for a little while. I would say, John, thanks so much for liking my post about bye-bye to 2020. We've been connected for a while. Curious how 2020 was for you. Love to jump on a call. Let's keep it in the no sale zone and catch up and see how we can support each other in 2021 best. 1 out of 2 or 3 of those people are going to book on my calendar, guaranteed. And if I do it as a video, 1 out of 2. So again, it takes time. There's a strategy behind it. But again, if you just like, comment, share, and you're active on LinkedIn, it takes all of about 5 minutes. You can literally keep your calendar full. I have clients that have literally added an additional $50,000 over and above what they were already doing, just using this one strategy. So it works. So what do you need to know about recommendations? I love recommendations. Why? Because you can actually click directly over to that person's profile right from LinkedIn. But what you need to know is, number 1, make them current. I see recommendations that are older than my shoes. Like seriously, they're from 2010. Because there's a date on them. So when you look at a recommendation, you're going to look at the date. You want to make sure they're current. And you need to ask for them, okay? So how do you ask for a recommendation? When somebody says, you did an amazing job, right? So when Tina gets her profile all upgraded and, you know, she looks like the superstar she is, right? This chamber is going to send her recommendations and say, Tina, thank you so much. You bring so much value to the chamber. I actually got 2 new referrals just from showing up at your lunch and learn, okay? You know, and if somebody tells you that, Tina, what you're going to do is actually reach out to them and say, you know what? I really could use your help. I would so appreciate if you could write a recommendation so that I can do a better job for the chamber to grow the membership. I'd love to be able to share the results you got. And then you have to give recommendations. So when somebody does something really great that you love, give them a recommendation, right? You know, and if you make it a practice, I make it a practice to put a yellow sticky right there in front of me and it says, give 3 recommendations a week. Why? Because people are always doing amazing things. And if they are, it's one of the best ways to actually be top of mind, okay? Because when somebody gives you a recommendation, it's like opening the mail and there's a check that you weren't expecting. It's like, wow, this is so cool. It's a winning ticket. People love getting that and it keeps you top of mind. Always focus on the benefits, right? When you write a recommendation, you don't want to say, oh, Mary is so nice and so easy to work with. That's all great. But at the end of the day, if I'm reading that recommendation because I'm considering working with Mary or John, I want to know what was the result. So for example, the gentleman that said, and I believe it was Howard, is that, it may have been Howard, I'm not sure, but you know, who said, you know, I get your house sold in 14 days and you don't pay commissions. I think that was the tagline of what he said. What somebody might say is, I hired Howard to help me sell my home and he sold that, my house was sold in less than 2 weeks for blah, 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 blah. If you're ever in need of a realtor and want to get, you know, and not have the hassle. So again, what is it? You're talking about the benefit. You can talk about the features, but always, always, always talk about that benefit, okay? And remember, your profile is 1 click away. So people will check you out and look at those recommendations. Now you can also put on there video testimonials, you can put on, you know, PDFs, but the written recommendation part is so critical because you're literally 1 click away. So here's an example. This is actually one of my clients, Scott, who's a commercial real estate broker. And I worked with Scott last year and he is in a very competitive industry. And I said to Scott, recommendations are really important. You need to give them, you need to get them. Well, I didn't even ask for this and he gave it to me. And he basically said he generated 29% more income last year that added an additional 7 figures to his business revenue, okay? Again, when somebody is considering working with you, they're gonna look at this and they're gonna say, okay, here's the real proof, because they can click right over to Scott's profile. So my question for you is, does your profile have that? You don't need to have anything other than the truth, because people want to know what's the experience of working with you and what's the result, okay? What somebody else says is going to be 1,000 times more powerful than what you say. So how do you crack the code of identifying yourself as the only logical choice? Because remember, every second, 3 new people join. It's a very crowded place, but you can, because here's the truth. Most people don't pay attention to LinkedIn. So if you go the extra mile and do pay attention and do have a profile that positions you as the only logical choice for the product or service that you offer, then you will have a calendar filled with appointments of qualified people that want to do business with you. So let me summarize the strategy. Number 1, you want to be connecting with people. You always want to connect in a personal way. Never, ever, 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 ever could just hit the connect button. Always tell people why you want to connect with them. After they connect with you, what you want to do is then take it to the next level and say, hey, thank you so much for connecting with me, Tina. I'm looking forward to learning more about you in the chamber. I'd love to set up a virtual cup of coffee where we can learn about one another. Here's a link to my calendar, okay? Because if you just connect and you let it die, then all you have is a bunch of connections. That and $3 will get you a bad cup of coffee. Let's actually use it. And then you want to endorse and recommend, okay? Again, I talked about recommendations. When you endorse somebody, guess what happens? You get a notice and they say, Rhonda Sher just endorsed you. And then you're going to go and click on my profile. That's how you stay top of mind. You always want to post, like, share, and comment, okay? And if you know who to follow, you follow people that are, that already have a following, and you can just reshare their stuff, okay? Again, 80% of what you post is motivational and inspirational. You can take a look at some of the stuff that I post. And 20% should be related to your business, but always, always, always be giving value. So that's the strategy. Now I'm going to summarize. Am I doing okay on time? Thumbs up, Tina. Am I good? Yeah, okay. So let me summarize what we talked about. Number 1, a professional profile. That's your banner, your headline, your headshot, your about section. It's putting in the rich text media, those videos. It's filling in every section, okay? Make sure your profile is complete. Number 2, know your audience. Know who you're looking to attract to your profile and who's going to be visiting you. A lot of times, and it's a bad analogy, but it's true. It's kind of like a dating site. You want to actually just write it to those people that you're looking to attract. You want to make sure that you're giving and getting recommendations and endorsements. Very, very important. You want to post, like, share, and comment. Be active daily, okay? And here's the secret sauce as well, okay? If you have a meeting with somebody tells you, you've got it set up, it was a referral, whatever it is, or maybe they found you on LinkedIn, do your homework. Look at their website, look at their profile, see where they went to school, see where they volunteer, see what their hobbies are, because in your about section, a lot of people put, their hobbies. So make sure you take the time before that meeting to really do the research, because you will have a huge, huge advantage in the amount of business that you will be able to close just by knowing how to read that profile. So my question for you is, how much money are you losing by not having an optimized LinkedIn profile and a system to generate 2 to 10 appointments a week? And I teach my clients a simple system called 10 before 10. Reach out to 10 people before 10 a.m. and combine that with LinkedIn, and you could potentially add an additional $10,000 to hundreds of thousands of dollars to what you're already earning using LinkedIn. So I have a special offer and a special gift. Do I have permission? Is that okay? Can I do that? Thumbs up, just to give a special offer? Okay, very easy. Many of you have never gotten on a one-on-one and had somebody show you how you can upgrade your profile, what it looks like. So if you go to my website, you can see it's $197. If you'd like to spend, a half an hour with me one-on-one on a recorded Zoom session where I'll go through your profile and I will show you what you can change, how you can change it. And I'll even show you examples of other people like you. It's $97, and this is how you do it. You can take a picture of it. You can do it through PayPal, Venmo, or if you want to send me an email, and I will send you a link to my calendar on Zoom, okay? And again, That half hour, it's pretty much ask me anything about your LinkedIn. I'm going to go through and huge value. And then finally, you can go to my website, which is being revamped, but it's rhondasher.com. You can get your free LinkedIn planner. Connect with me on LinkedIn if you haven't connected with me. And there's my email. I'm going to stop the share, and I think I'm good on time, right?
You did great on time.
Perfect. And then let's just open up for questions. How's that? And takeaways. I'd love to know about that as well.
So first off, questions from the group. Anybody have anything? Go ahead, Sandy.
Real quick, you talked about, when I was looking at mine, the recommendations and endorsements. So I see where it says skills and endorsements, but do you, like, how do you ask somebody to do that for you?
You know what? You give them an endorsement, and then you
And they would give
basically,
it back.
and they give it back to you. Exactly. And the first three are the ones that count, Sandy, because those are the only ones that pretty much show up.
Okay, because I see mine, but I was like, I couldn't remember how I got them. So, and then just real quick, the stories. We've Instagram stories, Facebook stories, are the LinkedIn stories that powerful? And then
They are, and I'm just starting to learn about that myself. They are very powerful. And do you post on a regular basis?
Yeah, 5 days a week. So yep.
Awesome. And you getting engagement?
I have not checked. That's where I fall short, is I'm doing it, but and I'll like other people's stuff, but I haven't paid attention to what people are liking. And I notice when I'm getting, some people are sharing my posts because I do a weekly podcast. So
awesome.
Regularly that gets shared by a few of my listeners, but I'm not really paying attention to the stats like I am on the other. So
paying attention to who is liking, commenting, and resharing is huge. Other questions? Looks like Doria.
Am I on? Okay. Hello. Rhonda, thank you so much for that presentation. That was fabulous. Very quickly, I used to be able to post on Instagram. It would go to Facebook, LinkedIn, Nextdoor, and then LinkedIn stopped that. How do we connect all three at once?
The only way that I know of doing that is Hootsuite.
I apologize, I didn't hear you.
Hootsuite, have you heard of Hootsuite? HOOTSUITE. Hootsuite is a platform that allows you to post on all of those platforms.
Wonderful, thank you very much.
Absolutely. I can't see the question, so you just have to jump out.
There was a connection on, oh, that was the one. How do we link in the three? Sorry.
Yeah, it's using Hootsuite.
Okay. Are there any other questions for Sharon?
Actually, I have a question regarding the chamber. So if the chamber themselves has an account, like Tina has her own account, and whether it's under the chamber, she has a chamber and other things that she does. For the chambers, from the chamber aspect, for the profile, the picture, would we have a logo? Would we have a group shot of staff? How would the chamber represent or post on as our profile to make it look
That's a great question. So
as an organization?
So what I would recommend is that the chamber, and I didn't double check, you guys have a company page, don't you? Do you have a company page?
Yes, we do.
So what I would recommend you do is you post on the company page. Okay, make sure your company page is really current. And then for those people like you, Tina, and you, John, on your personal profiles, you want to reshare what you're posting on the company page, and also ask people to follow the company page, right? But your interactions are going to be on your personal page. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I do think the chamber has a LinkedIn.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we do. We just
It's just not, we haven't used it in a very long time, but it is there.
So Charlene can work on, yeah.
And clearly, Tina, your personal profile for the chamber is what's going to drive people to get on a call with you to learn about the benefits of the membership with this chamber.
Right.
And, at the end, it's like, great, which credit card do you want to use to sign up?
Right. No, that's true. I think I need a book with you then. Maybe the chamber will write it off.
So Rhonda, a question for you. I know you don't work for LinkedIn. You're just the consultant that deals with LinkedIn. But do you know, because a couple of the folks that are members of our organization are nonprofits, either 501c3s or in our case, a 501c6. Does LinkedIn offer discounted rates to nonprofits for their
Paid
various
version.
status
They
levels?
actually, no, they actually don't. But here's the good news. They do give you, if you've never used Sales Navigator, the paid version, everybody can get a free 30-day trial. And if you happen to be a veteran, okay, there is a discount on the premium service for veterans. Unfortunately, and I think nonprofits should be able to, but as far as I know, there is no discount for it.
I wonder, since Microsoft owns them now, Microsoft offers lots of discounted programs for software and even hardware to nonprofits. I wonder if we could try to force something back through that.
Well, one of the best ways to get through to LinkedIn, by the way, just so you know, is do it through Twitter. Send your message to LinkedIn through Twitter, okay?
Sure.
Okay.
It's pretty sad when they're not using their own platform to be the gatekeeper of how they respond to people that are asking questions about their own company organization.
Yeah, you're 100% right. But at least, if you use Twitter, that's a great way to get them to respond.
Right.
Interesting.
Okay, are there any other questions from the group?
I actually have a question.
Go ahead, Doria.
Hi, Rhonda. Thank you so much. Doria here. In any event, I have a question regarding the bulk email. I get those a lot, and I just feel like, and sometimes I'm so silly, I respond and I know they just sent me like a spam. And so what is your takeaway on that?
When you say a bulk email, you mean a connection message, right?
A connection message. And I know that, like, I've replied to those personally, and then I realized, oh, they just sent that to everyone. So
you just click ignore.
Okay, so because but is that annoying to people to get those, or
it's terribly annoying?
Okay.
And the truth is that, like I said, LinkedIn is a really crowded space, right? So how do you differentiate yourself? You use a really personal touch, right? And there's so many. So, typically what I do is I want to make sure that somebody's actually looked at my profile, right? It might just say, hey, I see that you also went to UMass, or, whatever it happens to be, but there's got to be something personal in it, as opposed to, the ones that I love are the ones that say, oh, I see you're in real estate. Like, what? Seriously, I never did real estate. There might be the word real estate in my profile because I have helped thousands of real estate agents, right? So that's where they got it when they did the scraping. So I just click ignore.
Okay, thank you. It's just hard for me when somebody sends me something to ignore it, but when I realize they send it to thousands of other people, it's just...
You're actually special, but
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
But you have to understand where Doria's coming from is she also head up an etiquette group. So it's going to be kind of hard for her just to ignore an email that's coming in.
Yes, good point.
Right, Doria?
Yes, it is. It's, and I have responded because I too, like many other people, I actually have a real estate license, but I don't really just help my son with that. So I get this all the time. I see we have this, and I now know it's all bulk sent.
Well, what they're doing is they're using AI. And so, or they may just be cutting and pasting, but the reality is for those people, it's all about quantity, not quality. They're not really looking. So again, it's difficult when you're an etiquette person to ignore it, but that's what I would recommend that you do.
Okay. All right.
Consider it an unsolicited, sales call.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm curious about the takeaways that you guys have gotten, right? What your biggest takeaways have been, like aha moments, or what you learned and didn't know. That would be very helpful for me if you want to share.
Yeah, big takeaway for me is that I, of course, opened LinkedIn when I was talking to you, and I noticed on one of the guys you were showing us, you had all these things that he did in the description right under his name. And I didn't realize you could put multiple in, so I fixed mine while we were talking.
Hey. Love the banner, by the way, with the beach behind you. That's awesome.
Thank you for sharing about keywords. I am very active on LinkedIn. I use it daily. I'm posting, I'm sharing, I'm seeing the feed, but I never ever knew that I could add some keywords to, again, draw more traffic. So that was a big takeaway. I have one quick question, if I may. For those of us who are maybe not in a position where we're looking to grow sales, we have middle manager positions where we just want strong profiles. Do all these rules still apply? The banner,
Yes.
keywords, even if you're not looking to be in B2B sales? Or
That's a great question, Kelly. And you know, the answer is absolutely unequivocally yes. And I'll tell you why. Because people will still, even though you're not looking for business, you're having meetings with people, correct? And they are going to check you out all day long. They're going to check you out. And so they want to know, well, who are you? Well, where did you go to school? Right? You know, what have you done before? And one of the things that I recommend to my clients in the about section, okay, other than of course writing it in first person, is that you write something personal, okay? And I'll give you an example. One of my clients is a land banker, okay? There is nothing sexy about buying land as a retirement strategy in the Antelope Valley, okay? There just isn't. It's a great strategy. So what my client did was she used this strategy actually, you know, bought land, held onto it, and she started an orphanage in Vietnam. And on her LinkedIn profile, she talks about that. And she happens to be an Air Force vet. So when somebody happens to be looking for someone that does land banking as a retirement strategy, a lot of times where they're going to start, and Sandy, you'll appreciate this because on the DISC scale, if you're in high I, like I am, okay, they're going to jump in and they're going to say, tell me about the orphanage. That's amazing. As opposed to jumping in and asking about the land banking, right? So, you know, knowing how to read that profile, and there's actually an app that will tell you what somebody's DISC profile is with about 70 to 80% accuracy, which is pretty darn cool. So in answer to your question, Kelly, they're going to be checking you out. You don't need to use it to go look for business. I have a lot of clients that don't care about finding business, but they know they're being checked out. So it's like, how do you want to show up for that party?
Very good.
Maureen, do you have a question?
No, I just knew that, you know, for the past few years, I've just working so hard that I knew I'd have to update my LinkedIn, and it's on that list. For years, it's been on that list. So this is what I really need to do. And you're right, I haven't posted since maybe 3 months, but the last post I did was my boss shared it. It was something that we did in the USO. We served some local military members. It was just a cute little post. My boss shared it, and I got 1,249 comments on that post from my boss's share.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh. Wow, that is.
So I really have to do that now. It was amazing. So I sent him a little note. I said, you're not going to believe this. You know, so it's really true. And I'm not looking for customers. I'm looking for volunteers, maybe. I'm looking for money. I'm looking for people that can do things and get stuff for me and help move around military things. But boy, I couldn't believe it, but I still haven't done it. So thank you so much.
So imagine for a second, Maureen, okay, that you look at those people that did the comments and did the likes, right? And reached out to them. And you use the 4 words that I teach everybody. I need your help, right? Thanks so much for liking the post and commenting. You know what? I could really use your help. I'm looking for volunteers, or who do you know that can, right? You're not selling. Yep. You're just asking for help. What's the worst they can say? I don't know anybody. Okay, great. Thanks. And you had a nice conversation.
I know. I don't know. It's just like I'm a one-man shop, and I just didn't. It's a priority, but I just can't get to it. I need somebody. I could look for somebody to help me with my social media. But yes, you're right. It's important.
Yeah, great job though.
I have a question. I want to. Sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Rhonda. My takeaway is that I need a facelift on all of my social media platforms. Fortunately, I too am getting my website updated or thrown out and just completely facelift or a new face. In any event, my takeaway was I like the visibility, credibility, and profitable is what you said. And also too, that what others say about you is 100% more effective than what you say about yourself. So those are the 2 takeaways that I got from that. And
thank you.
Definitely, you're welcome. I'm definitely going to share with my friends this, some of them wanted to come on, but they were not able. So I'm definitely going to make sure that they do see this recording on YouTube and or the HB Chamber of Commerce. So thank you
Awesome.
very much.
You're welcome. Thanks for your feedback.
Well, let's all make sure we show Rhonda the love and connect with her on LinkedIn.
There you go.
There you
Thank
go.
Howard.
Good job, Howard.
So Rhonda, as the conversation started before everybody came on board, just to remind everybody, LinkedIn is not a social platform for businesses. It's not an extension of Facebook, which a lot of people when it first came out kind of had that misconception. That's what it was. It's not just a tool that can be used because I'm looking for a job. I want to get my name out there. I want to get the support from my peers to show who it is and what I can do and what do I star in and what are my attributes. It's a tool that can be used for a lot of different things. And we wanted to have Rhonda come in and speak to us to try to give some insight into members on how they can grow their business themselves professionally and use this valuable tool that's out there. It's got to be worth something because Microsoft, I don't think would have bought it if it hadn't been. Okay, so it's a great tool to use. So Rhonda, again, I want to say thank you very much for the presentation today. It was
My
very
pleasure.
informative. I learned stuff too. Yes, I need to go look at my LinkedIn profile. It's been a while since I updated that. But no, very informative. Really appreciated your presentation today.
Thank you.
All right, and so if there's no other questions, we'll go into the last part of our meeting. Rhonda, you're welcome to stay on if you want. It's just going through some last minute details with the folks that are here on the call. But just a reminder, we have the Government Affairs, our first Government Affairs event tomorrow. I can't remember the term we're using. It's not a briefing.
Briefing.
Changed my vernacular for that one. So we have our first one. So our speaker is going to be Michelle Steele. She's the new member of our Senate for our district, and she was going to be speaking on behalf of what she's planning on doing as this new seat. We've invited 6 other chambers that are within her district, and they will be attending as well. On the 12th, we have our next we have our next AM Connect call, and that's with our Police Chief Harvey. He's going to be here talking about the things he wants to do for the city, and things are coming up. A B2B lunch coming up it's a lunch and learn in March on the 24th. And then also the HB, our drive-in event, which is we're going to have our Best of HB Awards here at the Huntington Beach Wetlands Conservancy on the 26th. So please, if you plan on attending, get in there early, let us know. There are going to be a limited number of car spots for this because we are meeting the current, we're basing it today on what the current standings are for how we can establish distance between cars. So we're limited in how many cars we can accept here. But there will be tickets available for a virtual event as well. So we're going to be broadcasting this through Zoom as well. And from our Love It First Bite member and caterer, there will be a way that you can actually order your meals for that as well. And you can arrange something to get your meals picked up at their facilities and have those meals virtually while you're watching on Zoom this event. We are going to be looking for additional people to help us out, especially on 2 big events we have coming up for this year, which are our gala and our golf tournament. So we're going to be asking members, especially those members that are going to be that want to participate in this. Where I know at our last event we had somebody that said they wanted to be on the committee for the golf tournament, but we'll be looking for that board as well. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a committee membership that we're looking for that. It could be, hey, if you need something, silent auction items, live auction items, I've got some connections for this, whatever it is. Let us know what those are, okay? And then lastly, from my little spiel, again, please let us know what are the areas that you're interested in that you want to learn from, whether it's the PPP loans. We're all getting inundated with that because we're going through another round of PPP loans. If it's COVID-19 and with the current standards on there, thank you, Sandy. I understand because we're all seeing that. Great, you're on mute. But let us know what those things are that you do want to see and hear about, because we want to be this interactive and we want to hear from the members. What are those things of interest? Now you're unmuted, Sandy.
Yeah, what I was saying, I don't even turn on the TV because I call it the COVID TV. So I turned it on yesterday to see how bad Tiger Woods' wreck was and back off. So yes, yeah, business stuff, business.
Yeah, we do, and that's what we want to hear. So, and if it's, it may be something that is specific to a sector, but let's see if we can expand it in a way that it's not just for that sector, but other individuals, other groups can also gain knowledge on that. So we don't want to just keep rehashing the COVID, the PPP loans, all of that. If there's other areas of interest, let us know what those are, please.
I think our next B2B lunch will be on the new tax laws that will affect you. So that will be a good one.
Right. Okay. With that, the last thing we do is we go through and do a roundabout. Everybody, you got to
20
come
seconds.
up with a 20-second commercial about yourself that we haven't already talked about. So go ahead. Amy, I'll let you drive the bus on that one to put people in.
Okay, everybody's not showing on my screen though. So maybe Tina can go through because I'm only getting partial on my screen.
Okay, I'll do the time. Okay, got it.
Well, I can do it then. So Doria, we'll go with you first.
Okay, great. Thank you, John. Doria Miracle, President, Head Mistress, Huntington Harbor Junior Etiquette Program. We have our business etiquette chat tomorrow from noon to 12:40. Please email me at doria@hhdp.org to be added to our list, talking about all things business etiquette. Thank you.
Great. Sandy.
Hey again. As I mentioned, I'm a DISC certified coach. If anyone's interested in taking or retaking that and learning how to use that to help their teams work more effectively, give me a call. Thanks.
Great. Howard?
Yeah, Howard Barnes, 14-day home sale. And I put them on my online home marketing platform. We will have 8 to 10 offers all over appraised value. And you don't have to put a lockbox on your house. Okay, what happens is we show the house 2 days only, get those offers, and nobody else has to come to your house. Thank you.
Great. Maureen?
So I'm with the USO. We have our center in John Airport is open just Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 right now, but we want to open by May, I would hope, to our regular hour, 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. every day of the year. So I'll be looking for volunteers, and you can look at uso.volunteers.org. And then also, I think we're on for our beach party on September 12th. More on that when I get the permits.
Great. Thank you. Catherine? You're muted, Catherine, if you're still there. Okay, we'll go to Boomer Construction. We'll see if Catherine comes back on. That's 2 for 2.
Corby.
Well, I think we're going to be done a little bit early today, folks. So thank you, everybody, for being on the call. Again, Rhonda, I definitely want to thank you for your presentation today. I think it'll be very helpful for a lot of us. Stay tuned for our next events I mentioned, and have a good rest of your afternoon.
And everything will be on our website. So if you need some more information from Rhonda, it's all on our website. And I think she put the stuff in the chat box. Did you, Rhonda?
I did.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks so
Great.
much.
Thank you,
guys.
Rhonda.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks again. Have a good day, everyone.
All right.
Take care.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.